hats off to the defense and their ability to get off the field on third and fourth down there in the second half. And then, offense was not pretty in the throw game, not at all. But Sam was off in the first half, and then, boy, was he on in the second half, and we didn't help him very much on the perimeter. But we stuck with the run game. We had a back go over 100 yards, a true freshman, as well as, got some necessary yardage with Sam running the football as well. So really, really proud of the O-line. I mean, that defensive front of theirs, there's a reason that's the number one defense in our league and, one of the top 10 defenses in the country. And, but we rushed for I don't know how many yards, well over 100, almost 200, I believe. And, they all count the same, and we got a lot of work to do. But I do want to thank the fans, those of them that were here and loud and raucous. Man, those third and fourth downs, I think we got a false start against our opponent. I think we forced them into a false start. And then, the fans across the country in Austin and Texas, thank you for supporting us and sticking with us, sticking by our side, and understanding that we are work in progress, and we will be the entire season. And, credit to West Virginia. They knew that we were doing a great job against their really, really productive run game, at least leading up to this game. And they came out in the second half and decided to play the game on the perimeter. And again, this is one of those deals where, especially after halftime, when you don't have a halftime to talk about it with your kids, it's like you're playing with 11 true freshmen out there on defense and, trying to make as many adjustments as you can on the sideline. But there are literally there's no recall. There's no banked reps. There's no experience in this defense. And, the guys gritted it out. They toughed it out. They willed it out. And I could not be prouder of them, especially in the second half. And as poorly as the offense played at times, we took the first possession of the game, scored a touchdown, took the first possession of the second half in the third quarter and scored a touchdown. So we're getting better in the third quarter. We're getting better running the football. Now we got to find a way to be more productive on the perimeter in the throw game. Question. Injury. Hang on. Injury update. Keandre Coburn, pretty decent ankle sprain. He'll actually get an MRI today. Josh Moore's shoulder AC sprain. So that has not limited, most of our guys for an extended period of time, but we'll see how severe it is. And then Ryan Bushevsky is still going to evaluate his knee today and tomorrow. So questions?
We'll start with Chuck.
Tom, what did you see from Bijan today and the final play, the pass to him at the very end of the game to clinch things? What was the thinking on that?
Well, the thinking was, we got to play the game. The game wasn't over. We knew we needed a first down, and we've got a really, really experienced quarterback that understood the situation. And Mike made a great call, and I think we all understand, or at least we all knew that Sam Ehlinger knew that a sack on that play or, a scramble is 100 times better than an incomplete pass. And so we trusted Sam. We knew that if it wasn't wide open that he was going to tuck it and run and get what he could and keep the clock running. But it was there and, sealed the game for us.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom. West Virginia seemed to lose faith in the run against y'all from very early. Throwing curls and swing passes, and like you said, on the perimeter. Can you speak to how difficult it was on those fourth down stops to, you would think running plays for a lot of teams, but, you have B.J. Foster and Chris Brown, stopping them in the end.
Yeah, and we were in cover zero on all three of them, because like you said, I mean, common logic in this game is on 4th and 1, you got to stop the run and you got to sell out to stop the run. And, credit to West Virginia, to be honest with you, for understanding that. It's why you see us throw the ball quite a bit on the goal line, because it's just so hard to run the football with an overloaded box like that. I mean, you're talking about +2. The defense is right there on the line of scrimmage, and forced them to be one-dimensional, and our secondary did a great job covering them.
Anwar, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just 2 questions for me. One, as with Bijan started out so hot, were you guys tempted to run him more? Were you kind of trying to, take it easy on him as a freshman? And then 2, can you talk again about the offensive line when you talk about defending the Still brothers and what that defensive line was able to do? Just, I know you haven't seen the film, but more on your offensive line.
Yeah, I don't think anything with Bijan other than, he's not used to, a 20, 25 carry day, and we've got a very, very capable player alongside of him in Roschon Johnson too. And we've also got another weapon in the backfield in the run game in our quarterback too. So that was not anything other than keeping him fresh and not putting too much weight on his shoulders. And then I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question, Onward? You got
offensive line.
Yeah, played great. Probably their best game. Didn't handle early in the game a couple of twist pickups that got to Sam, and we only gave up 1 sack against that very disruptive defensive line. But they got some pressure on us, and I thought Mike did a good job of understanding that, protecting the right side of the offensive line with some max protection calls. We didn't make the plays that we needed to, whether it be an errant throw or a busted route, a drop pass on the perimeter. But after it was apparent that, we might struggle if we try to drop back, 40, 50 times in the game, Mike kind of adjusted the game plan. I thought that was really good. And then to be able to run the football on these guys that were giving up, I think, 90-something yards a game rushing. And, we ran the ball well. And it wasn't always pretty, but, hats off to the offensive staff, too, for staying with it and not being deterred by 1- and 2-yard runs and staying with the run game and knowing that we're going to crease a few here and there.
John High, go ahead.
Coach, you said the offense played poorly at times. What is it going to take to see that consistency you want to see throughout a game, not just start the first half and the second half? And what's their mindset right now after winning their 3rd in a row? Are they still feeling like they're a work in progress? Are they happy?
They better not be happy. I mean, what do they got? They better, what do we got to be full on? I told our guys all week, if the best thing that you do when you look back on 2020 is you beat Oklahoma State, what a shame. What a shame that would be. And we are definitely a work in progress. They know that. We're playing with some very inexperienced guys on the perimeter. Sam was all over the place in the first half, and he knows that. But, man, in the second half, he came to play, and we didn't help him out. So we'll go back to the drawing board. I don't think anybody's ready to press panic by any stretch. But it's obvious that we've got to improve in the throw game and get back to where we were early in the season, with both the quarterback and the receiving crew having good games. And right now, the last couple games we've just been a little bit off, but I don't think anybody's ready to blow anything up or panic.
You're up, Danny.
You guys got some big stops from DeMarvion and Tavondre in the 3rd quarter on 3rd down. Can you just talk a little bit about those 3rd down stops for y'all?
Huge. I mean, game winners, if you will. DeMarvion's sack kept them from going for it on 4th down. I think that was on 3rd and 1 as well. And then, forcing a field goal attempt. And, the whole line. I think you asked about T. Sweat. Is that right? I thought T. Sweat, TQ, Alfred, Joe, Jacoby, Morrow, they all played major roles in stopping the run game and getting us off the field on 3rd and 4th down.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, you just kind of touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to ask about what Tavondre was able to do for y'all when he came in. I think Keandre went out on maybe their 3rd drive of the game, West Virginia. So just, what was he able to provide for you, and what's it like to have that guy caliber of backup when you lose a guy like Keandre?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, if you're asking what it's like, it's great. It's a credit to Mark Hagan and his development of Keandre and Tavondre. And, Tavondre Sweat, none of those D linemen can play the whole game, especially when it's 82 degrees, 85 degrees, whatever it was. I think I saw Sawyer Gorham Welch in there getting some time too, and as a true freshman. So, it's a credit to them and their buy-in and belief in Coach Hagan, and putting, the practice into the things that they've done in practice and their training in practice, applying it in the game and making a difference for us.
Got 4 last questions in queue that we can get through. Start with Brian.
Yeah, Tom, there is some progress, though, in the fact that you guys don't play your best and still win against a pretty good team. Do you see – how do you gauge progress, with a 3-game winning streak here?
Win. We won. And, we didn't early in the year in the close games against pretty good opponents, really good opponents. And we found a way. Guys, this is the way it's going to be all year. We're going to get better this bye week. We got a ton better in the bye week leading up to the Baylor game. We're a much different team at this point, but we are going to be a work in progress certainly on defense with all the adjustments that we need to make and the lack of repetitions against certain schemes and formations and plays. And then on offense, we've got some inexperience on the perimeter that we've got to continue to get on the same page with the quarterback and, keep improving. And that's what we're going to do this bye week.
Jeff, go ahead.
Tom, coming out of the Oklahoma game, you did not sound pleased at all with your punt team, from that bye week to the last 3 games. What do you feel like's changed with that punt unit? And then also, can you talk about the job that I know Keaton Crawford had a big stop for today, but Josh Thompson downs a couple of balls inside the 5. Just what is your level of pleasure right now, I guess, with your punt team compared to where it was about a month ago?
Oh, light years ahead. We simplified for the punter in terms of what we're asking him to do. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. He's had 2 of his best games. We've got a guy back there in Cade Brewer and really his sidekick, Reese Lato, who's a neuroscience major that's going to graduate here and go on to med school in a year or 2 and go be a neurosurgeon. So to have both those guys back there kind of directing traffic has really helped. And then, Coach Boulware did a good job of simplifying, adjusting our protection. Again, the 2 block punts early in the year had nothing to do with scheme. We had a guy miss a block, but what we're doing right now is we're putting him in better positions to make those blocks, and they're making sure that we're in the right formation, we're in the right call based on the overloads and the checks and having a flip to go from a punt right to a punt left because of the overload. And there's a lot of mental gymnastics that go on back there, and I couldn't be prouder of the 2 guys we have back there in Cade and Reese. And then obviously the punter is hopefully this knee will not keep him sidelined very long, because in my opinion he's had his best 2 games certainly this season, maybe in the last few years.
Last one, go ahead, Setter.
Yeah, Tom, last week Joseph Osai took over the game late, and then today the Marvion Overshawn just keeps flashing off the screen, and I know they're close and they challenge each other. How infectious is that playmaking gene when you see those two elite athletes doing that work late in games?
I would agree with you, Cedric. I think you're spot on. It is very infectious. I think I don't want to call it a friendly rivalry. I would throw Juju in there as well. You know, those three guys kind of like to one-up each other a little bit from a playmaking standpoint. But, you know, the thing you got to be careful of is when you try to do too much, you expose other things. You got to do your job and do your job the way you're coached to do your job. And DeMarvion and Joe have certainly been doing that. DeMarvion, I think, played pretty consistently. He's still, you know, we got to get him filling the B gap and the A gap with a little more pop. We got to his main objective this whole week off is to, you know, we got to put some meat on those bones, and to play inside linebacker in the A and B gap. So if you got any honey buns or peanut butter you want to donate, holler at me. But you know, that's going to be the big objective for him here these next 3 weeks, is to continue to add weight, continue to add girth, continue to feel comfortable inside the box. But he does flash and he makes a bunch of plays. And you're right, Cedric. I do think Joe and him and Juju kind of feed off each other.
Fat guys don't share honey buns, Tom. You don't share them.
Well, I trust our nutrition staff will figure out a way to get him some calories.